Hi chums, it's all John Heisz's fault. I've been watching John for a few years now. He does fantastic work. He thinks about things differently from most people, and if you want to see really good, really clever woodwork, go to his site. I could also include Matthias Wandel, isn't it Matthias Wandel, and Jay Bates in that as well. I watch those, but John Heisz does some lovely work, and very unique work, like wooden vices and wooden clamps and stuff like that. So then, because I've been watching him, I've become interested in some equipment, and it finally happened, folks. I'm just going to turn this camera around. So John, I hope you're proud of yourself. It's a Jet 230 CS, I think it is, the name of it. And I got it yesterday. No, Friday, that's a lie, I got it on Friday. I'm just going to pull the door in here to stop the traffic noise. And it seems, it didn't look as big in the shed I bought it out of, but it looks very big in here. Now, I've got a couple of things to ask you guys about orientation. This is, obviously I'm coming into the shed from here. Is that the best orientation so they can slide boards in, or planks and stuff, but I also need the same distance on the outfeed if I'm doing something long? So would it be better to turn the saw 90 degrees so that I can make use of this space up here? There's about 12 or 13 feet there, and there's another 14 or 15 feet there, and I can rearrange stuff to suit the saw, so I can turn the saw 90 degrees if need be. But the reason it's sitting there is because that's where it was put when I got it in. I just thought it'll stay there, so I've had to do a lot of quick rearranging, which will have to be done again probably, you know. But everything's sort of working. There's just one issue here, that when I try to crank up the saw blade, it kind of misses a wee bit, so imagine the teeth are worn, but that's not a big deal because my mates are engineers, so they'll soon knock up something for that. But I'll just put the saw, I'll put the camera up on a mount and let you see. There's the outfeed table. Well, that's why I had the camera off. I wanted to let you see in the back, and there's the back with the extractor hose and everything on it, you know. So I'll just stick this saw up here. Going saw mad. I'll stick this up here. That should be sitting in position correctly now because I had this set up before I came in. Yeah, that's pretty good there. Yeah, that's okay. So I haven't had to do an awful lot of work to this saw. I'll just nip out of the road here. I haven't had to do a lot to the saw because it was in pretty good condition when I got it. I just cleaned the top of it. Now I haven't put any wax on it yet because I cleaned it with a water displacement product, one of those like a brake cleaning penetrating oils, and it came up really well. But I don't want to take that off because I've no wax. I gave my wax to my mate, or one of my mates, to try on a bit of work he was doing, and he didn't want, it was just the ordinary wood wax 22, the chestnut stuff, but he didn't want to put a high gloss on the thing he's doing, so this gives it like a satin finish. So I don't have any wax that would do. I've got wax with silicone, but I don't want to put that on this. Apparently you don't put silicone near tables, but it's got all the stuff. It's got a pretty accurate, this is actually a very accurate fence, and this aluminium, correct pronunciation, can be removed from it. It's also got a miter here, which is very good, which can be set to any side. But the really lovely thing I love about it is it's a sliding table as well, and it slides wherever you want. So that's a huge asset, you know. It means I don't really have to build a fence for it then, you know. So that's the limit of its travel there, and that's the limit coming back again. So as you can see, everything moves well, but as the saw is not balanced, as you can see, so I'm going to have to get it balanced, because I notice here there's a little tiny, you can't see it, but you can feel it with your finger, a little tiny discrepancy, but it goes smooth here again, and then up here you can feel a little discrepancy. So it's obviously lying tilted a wee bit off skew. So when I get it squared up, that'll be okay. But when it's sitting like that, it's fairly close, and then that locks off like that, and that's it. This can be removed. Another piece that came with it was this boy here. I'll go over to you and let you see it. This clamp here. This screws down. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 holes on the table, and this will screw into those holes. So you can use it for a clamp down anywhere on the table that you want. So that might be, I've never seen anybody use one, but I've got one, so I'm happy about that. The other thing was the miter fence, but what really impressed me most was it came with the original documentation. So there it is. It's a so there it is. It's a Jet. What is that? 250 CS. It's a fairly old saw, but it was a very expensive saw when it was made, and I got this. Now this was not something where I went out to buy a table saw. I happened to mention to a friend a couple of weeks ago I was thinking that I might buy one eventually, which usually means never. And then he happened to be talking to a guy last Tuesday night who said he had two saws. He had a Shapak and this one, but the Shapak was one, a big panel saw, which was far too big, but this was the one I was really interested in. And when I went to see it, I thought I was going to see the one that's the wee sister, the wee brother of this one, but I didn't think it was going to be this one, you know, so I was very pleased, as you can imagine. So I bought it, and that's it. So now I'm condemned to spend my life doing flat work. I don't do flat work, I do roundy, spinny work, but this is a new adventure from me. But there won't be anything cut in that saw until I've done a whole lot of research on YouTube and I've made a few of these here. That's John Heisz's push stick, which everybody says is a fantastic job. So I'm going to make some of those. I won't turn the saw on to make a cut until such times as that is made. So safely first. I wouldn't be like what they call safely Sally, but I do like having fingers and stuff, you know. I'm just going to turn this on to let you see it running, because everybody wants to know, does it actually work? So that's it. So the only issue that I have found is that when I'm cranking the blade up, it kind of misses on the teeth, so we'll get that sorted out. Everything else is working fine. It works right, left and right, and it's very accurate. The 90 degrees on the indexing is 90 degrees on the table, so I'm happy about that. So I've got a whole lot of work to do, a whole lot of things to learn, and I'm very happy, but I need some advice, please. Number one, how do I orientate the saw? Do I keep it facing the doors or facing the length of in line with the length of the workshop? And the other one is, can you recommend a saw blade? Okay, I don't know what this one is. It's not that thick, and it's got carbide teeth on it. They're all there, there's no missing teeth at all. And there's a guy, there's one there, it's damaged. So I'll need a new blade probably. But I can get those quite cheaply. There's a guy who just concentrates on those out in a place called Stonebridge. And he's very reasonable and honourable, and so we'll get blades there. What would you suggest for a good all-purpose blade, and one that would be good for cutting segments for segmented turning? Okay, so general purpose saw blade and a saw blade for segmented type work, and that'll get me started off then, because I'm sure there's other things I can do as well, you know. But as I say, I'm only starting off, I'm only a beginner, and there'll be a lot of things to learn. And the first thing I'm going to learn is how to keep my fingers away from the blade. So that's that. So John Heisz, despite it all being your fault, thank you very much. It was because of you and people like you, like Jay Bates and Matthias, that I bought this, because you all are an absolute inspiration to us. So thank you. Okay, maybe do a wee project on it someday. I have to make a bird table for my mother-in-law, which I promised her about 20 years ago, and I got reminded yesterday I'd never made it, so big wave of guilt here, you know. So as I say, I'll maybe do that, but I want to learn how to use it first, okay? So that's it, folks. It's down there to the road. So that's my new saw. Okay, all the best now. Bye-bye.